Okay, guys, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. So I'm going to try and limit how long I go on questions the best I can, because we have a ton of stuff to share. The first thing is this stream is in the RavenQuest category, so it does count towards our first anniversary 200 renown MOA skin. So just by watching stream today, you'll be able to get that skin in game for free. Additionally, if you tune in too late or the stream doesn't go long enough, you can tune into any of our partnered creators that are live and get the rest of your progress there. Or if you are watching this as a VOD, you guys can watch another streamer and get that free MOA skin for our first anniversary. We're going to be going over mainly Fortune's Frontier today, but we have a bunch of other stuff that I want to share. Fortune's Frontier, basically what we're going to do is we're first going to share a video. This is a video that's going up on YouTube. It kind of gives you like, I don't remember how long it is. I think it's like 6-7 minutes. Oh my God, I did it. But it's around that time, and basically just gives like a very, in a nutshell, what Fortune's Frontier is. We want to do a video this time for it. Like I'm going to dive into everything about it again on stream, but something easier for you guys to share with friends or other people that missed the stream. You guys have a short video that kind of goes over what Fortune's Frontier is, and this makes much better than being like, oh, listen to the 3-hour AMA. And so we're going to be sharing that video first here, and then it's going to go up, it's going to be available on our YouTube as well. And then we have a Fortune's Frontier landing page that is also going to be going live, dev blog that's going to be going live, which we're going to go over here in stream a little bit more. We're going to talk kind of a little lightly on our 2026 goals and really how it relates to Fortune's Frontier. We're going to talk about our spring roadmap, what's coming with that, character Bazaar being one of those. We're going to show some teasers for the world bosses that are coming. We're going to talk about the Rangers Company rework that's coming, which I know all of you guys very much want to see. And we're also going to do that bounty roll that 5 people are involved in. So we'll do that at the very end because some people might not really care about that as much. But for those 5 people, I want to do it on stream so that's fully transparent. There's a few other things that we'll probably get into depending on how many questions there are, as you guys know. Five people have a big chance. You do. It's 1 in 5 basically. So. My name is RankYM, and I wanted to say that RavenQuest is the best RPG I've played. Because I love the game so much, I'd like to suggest a new Spearman Lancer archetype, as I feel the combat dynamic is missing. Additionally, creating new expedition maps would be amazing to expand expedition. First off, thanks a ton. That means a lot. In terms of Spearman Lancer, are you more saying like weapon type or archetype? Because if you're thinking weapon type, it's a little different. But definitely, I feel like we know like 10 archetypes that we want to make next. And we know what the next 2 will be already, because it'll be related to a major content expansion. But we've definitely had some ideas around weapon types that are related to kind of spears and halberds and stuff like that. And additionally, like more expedition stuff, we are working on that right now, actually. We have a pretty big rework coming to expeditions that'll make them significantly better. Originally, we were working on a new tier of expeditions, but without getting into like a 2-hour game design conversation here, there's some pretty big flaws with that design, just adding more tiers and how that kind of works. And so we have a pretty big revamp coming to expeditions that I think are going to make it a lot nicer for players, much better experience, and also it'll bring in a lot of new depth to expeditions as well, which is something we're very excited about. But we've been focusing first on kind of the PvP side. A big focus for us has been Fortune's Frontier, and on the PvE side, a big focus for us has been the Rangers Company rework as well as the world bosses. And to be clear, these are not open world bosses. They're essentially like regional bosses. But it makes for a very good system. We'll be sharing, I'm sure I'll share quite a bit on them. The new progression kind of coming with them, what makes them unique from like Aether Echoes, stuff like that. Will we have a political system in the future? Yeah, definitely. There's a political system that we built out that we really like. It just didn't really not built out in terms of development side, but in terms of design side, it just doesn't really make sense for us to put our focus on that just yet. We feel like there's some better progression loops that we want to first focus on the PvP and PvE side. And that's really why we've been building out world bosses and Fortune's Frontier. Yeah, Leak Samurai archetype? Not yet. Not yet. Okay, let's get right into it. Let's share this video, and then I'll talk more about it afterwards. I should probably put headphones on so I can listen along. Oh no, I don't want to listen to myself talk. But I should, just to make sure it's also the latest edit that I haven't even seen yet, so hopefully they did a good job. All right, let's jump into it. Let me get my headphones. Happy 1-year anniversary adventures. Today we have something really special to share with you. Something that we've been building in the shadows for quite some time now. But first, I want to share with you why we built it. There's a problem that happens in every MMORPG. The game content grows, the world grows, the amount of variety and content you can do grows, the community solidifies, players reach endgame, and the progression gap continues to get larger. And then a new player discovers the game, they start watching some videos, read some guides, only to think to themselves, oh, I wish I would have started at the beginning with everyone else, because now I'm a year behind in content and I can't even play with my friends. And so for many of them, they just don't start. This could have been a player who would have loved the game. Someone that would have became a part of the community that we know and love. It's why so many MMORPGs eventually release new worlds, fresh starts, or a new expansion that essentially is a fresh start. Think World of Warcraft, where everyone's back on an equal footing again, and it's a great opportunity for new players to jump in. This is a problem that our studio has been exploring for quite a long time. We didn't want to do it in the way that other MMORPGs do it. We wanted to do something a little bit different. We wanted to build something that long term can bring in new players consistently and continuously with new seasons. So with that, we built Fortune's Frontier, a brand new game mode that is fast-paced, highly accessible, and streamlined PvP VE experience right in the world of RavenQuest. Every Frontier season starts completely fresh. No, oh, I should have started a year ago, I can't play with my friends, I can't even compete. Simply create a character with the count you already have and jump right into the action. The goal of Fortune's Frontier is simple. Navigate islands, find treasure, and make it out alive. And the deeper you venture into the frontier, the more dangerous and risky your journey becomes. Now let's talk a little bit more about how Fortune's Frontier actually works. So you will simply create a character and it will already start at an advanced level with a full gear loadout. This allows you to jump quicker into the action and a much more streamlined process for new players, and for veteran players, they don't have to go and repeat or grind the same content just to get to the peak action. The Frontier is built into multiple different types of risk zones. The first being quite minimal risk, low consequences. The only thing you lose if you die is your treasure. Treasure you're carrying that other players can now pick up and take for their own. In the second highest risk zone, you will also drop your inventory, allowing any other player to come by and take it or even kill you for it. And in the highest risk zone, you will even drop your equipment, making it the maximum risk reward zone to conquer. Every player in Fortune's Frontier is both the hunter and the prey. Now, on Fortune's Frontier, we wanted to do something a little bit different with the gearing system. Instead of crafting your gear, all equipment will be dropped from creatures on the islands. We also took a little bit of a different approach on the trinket system from RavenQuest. Now instead, before each time you set out on an adventure, you will select one of 3 different trinket styles with sub-styles within those. These trinket styles will completely change your next adventure, whether increasing your damage in player versus player, allowing you to collect treasure at a faster pace, or just a little extra survivability to get away from the hunters. Now, treasure is the true heartbeat of the frontier. You will be able to find treasure from treasure pouches and treasure chests by killing creatures on the Fortune's Frontier Islands. But finding the treasure is only half the battle. You also have to successfully get that treasure back to the frontier town to turn it into silver. Silver is essentially the reward mechanic behind Fortune's Frontier. As people collect silver, the total silver pool grows, and based on your percentage of that silver pool, that will account for the reward share you get. So any amount of silver, big or small, you will get some share of the reward pool, with the largest share going to the people that successfully claim the most amount of treasure. Now, I want to be clear about something. Fortune's Frontier is not just a new game mode. It's a next new major chapter for RavenQuest. Since release, this is the biggest milestone we've had to date, and I'd like to share with you why. Every new season of Fortune's Frontier allows for us to bring in a huge new wave of players that are eager to start on an equal footing with other adventurers. Friends that wanted to play but felt too far behind their other friends, completely new adventurers that wish they would have heard about the game when it released and they're only hearing about it now. This gives them all a chance to jump in and try a streamlined version of RavenQuest. And when a season ends, all those systems that were removed to make Fortune's Frontier a much more high accessibility and streamlined experience for new players are right there waiting for them in RavenQuest. The deeper systems, the larger world, guilds, the economy, the endgame, it's all right there for them. And this isn't a one-time thing. Every Fortune's Frontier season will allow us to bring in a whole new wave of players that wanted to jump in on an equal footing and experience RavenQuest for the first time. From there, graduating them to the larger and more content-rich world of RavenQuest. While not final, we wanted to share a bit more on the seasonal structure for Fortune's Frontier. Fortune's Frontier will likely be about 1 week long seasons 3 times per year. Now, this is really important to us because we didn't want to simply build out a new game mode that's year round that devalues the time and energy people put into their own characters. We also didn't want to simply do a fresh start server like most MMORPGs default to doing. For our existing community of adventurers and veteran players, every new player that comes in through Fortune's Frontier is a new player to join your group, to be a part of your guild, to participate in the economy, to be a part of that endgame loop of RavenQuest. Long term, this is how RavenQuest grows, consistently, sustainably, season after season. We want Fortune's Frontier to be the reason that someone who's never heard about RavenQuest downloads the game. And then we want the full world of RavenQuest to be the reason that they stay. Now, this video was just a first look. If you want to read the full dev blog about Fortune's Frontier, you can click the link in the description, but we will have many more teasers coming over the next few weeks that dive deeper into different systems in Fortune's Frontier. And following that, we will be announcing the Season 1 launch date of Fortune's Frontier. Until then, happy adventuring and prepare yourselves because the frontier awaits. So first of all, our team is sending the YouTube link in the chat. You guys can keep sending that. I do it every time, man. We're going to be doing a giveaway well, I'll probably be picking a few people. I'm not sure how many yet. I guess it depends how many, but people who like and comment the video on YouTube. So go leave a comment, and I'll be picking some people and doing some giveaways to them. So yeah, easiest way to enter, and it helps us a ton with boosting about Fortune's Frontier. We're going to jump into a lot of stuff. We're going to go through the dev blog first because it goes into more detail on a lot of stuff, and it answers most of kind of the questions in the chat. And I'll also expand on a bunch of them quite a bit. Volume up. It is the highest volume I can do, my guys. So I just turn me up on your side. All right, let's get into the dev blog here. And sorry, my HDR from my monitor kind of screws up the color. So the color is going to be very dull compared to how it is on the actual dev blog. But the actual dev blog will be posted as soon as I'm done going through it. So you guys don't read ahead. And because you always do. And so, yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to expand on a few areas quite a bit, and then we'll do a ton of questions on it because I'm sure there's going to be a ton on things that maybe aren't covered. But I'm going to skim through some of it because some of it's mentioned in the video pretty well. There's a problem that every MMORPG eventually runs into. Someone made a great caveat, by the way, which was Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 and RuneScape are great examples of games that have designed from the ground up that kind of avoids this with very heavy horizontal progression. This is obviously a very different type of game, right? You could almost split MMORPGs into kind of two categories, right? Vertical progression and horizontal progression. And they are incredibly different types of games and cater to very different audiences. This is more of a problem with vertical progression MMOs, which are, to be clear, like 95% of MMOs. There's a problem every MMORPG eventually runs into. It gets worse for time. New players discover the game a year after launch, get excited, and then hesitate. Everyone else is so far ahead already. I wish I'd found out about this at the start. And so they don't start. That's a loss for them and for a game they might have loved and for the community that would have welcomed them. It's why so many MMORPGs eventually turn to new worlds, fresh starts, or expansions that reset the playing field. The appeal is universal. Everyone loves an equal footing. We've thought about this problem for a long time. Fortune's Frontier is our answer to that. A seasonal, fast entry, PvP, VE mode where every season begins fresh, no gear advantage, no progression gap, no I should have started earlier, skill, strategy, and willingness to risk it all for treasure. We want Fortune's Frontier to be the reason someone who has never heard of RavenQuest downloads the game, and with a strong path from the Frontier into RavenQuest at the end of each season, we want it to be the reason they stay. This is really important for us to share because this is something that while many MMORPGs do complete fresh starts, new worlds, or expansions like World of Warcraft, as many of you guys know, I've played quite a bit of WoW over my years. And a new expansion is essentially a fresh start, right? And it works really well. Like, trying to convince a friend to jump into WoW at the end of an expansion or even like 6 months in is almost impossible. New expansion, everyone comes back, right? You see it in even WoW's players numbers, and it's because they're essentially doing a new world, a fresh start. There's some games, Tibia is a great example of this, that do like constant new worlds. They release new worlds many times throughout a year, and they merge old worlds, and they just kind of keep doing this because people love that fresh start experience. We wanted to try something a little different. We wanted to do something that allows people to experience RavenQuest for a first time in that kind of fresh start environment without kind of devaluing all the progression in the main world of RavenQuest. And then with that, of course, like we will always look to stagger bigger content drops and new player things around the end of a season. So going from a Fortune's Frontier season, they get a kind of streamlined version of RavenQuest that's in many ways simplified and kind of jump right into the action for them into an experience where they easily can cross over and have lots of reasons to cross over. That's something very important in the design as well. And also, we didn't want to release a new game mode that essentially just makes RavenQuest irrelevant, in the sense of we drop Fortune's Frontier and it's like 24/7, or every week it starts fresh and it's constant, and everyone in RavenQuest is like, well, should I even play my character anymore? What happened to the full game? And so that's why it will be kind of short seasons. We don't know the exact length of them yet, but probably about like 7 to 14 days, and likely around 3 to 4 seasons a year is essentially the idea. This will depend, of course, how much design side, how long we think the right timing is for it. But also in terms of how frequent we think seasons make sense to do, depending on kind of how much we want to change each season. But it allows us to make a very fresh meta for each season as well. I'm just going to scroll up in chat a little bit. I'm going to try and jump between chat and reading the dev blog. So apologies when I jump over and will there be unique cosmetics or rewards that will entice people already deep into RavenQuest to still grind Fortune's Frontier? Absolutely. So our plan is every Fortune's Frontier season to have exclusive rewards for RavenQuest. So if you're playing RavenQuest, you play the Frontier season, you also get some exclusive rewards on RavenQuest. And we're definitely the goal with this is during the Fortune's Frontier week, that will be everyone will want to play it. Assuming that you're interested in, of course, you don't have to, but really building around where you don't feel like you're missing out on RavenQuest stuff because you're playing Frontier and you're losing a week or something like that. We want to very much make it okay, Frontier, play that, and you'll get some stuff on your RavenQuest character at the end of the week. But also, again, really bringing in an opportunity for new players, especially you guys see it all the time. The amount of people that come into the Discord and they're like, oh, it sucks that I'm like a year behind already. I wish I heard about this game when it launched. Or, you know, trying to bring a friend in and it's like, okay, we'll play for a couple months and then we can, you know, do stuff together. It's something that we really wanted to solve. We felt really important to solve. And that's just the people that you see coming into the Discord, right? You can think about how many just don't even jump in. And I'll be honest, like I'm a good example of that. If certain games had like certain MMOs had like a complete new world or fresh start, a week from now, I would probably join because they're MMOs that interest me, but I'm just like, I don't want to jump in when I'm that far behind. And at times that can be like, okay, well, you're only like, you know, in 2 weeks you catch up or whatever. It's still just something about a fresh start that I think is really appealing to MMO players, but we want to do something without just being like, oh, here's a new world. All your guys' progress is irrelevant. And, you know, there's times that maybe that can make more sense if like the game's changing significantly, you know, like the backbone of the game is changing in such a big way that it can be good to have a fresh start. But otherwise I don't see a reason for it. And while I know we get asked it all the time, especially like in DMs, people always ask like, do a new world, blah, 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 blah. It's not something that we want to go down. We want to really try something a little different, but something that we're very confident on, something we've been building out for quite a bit of time. So we're going to get deep into the mechanics here. There's a lore section. I'm going to let you guys read through this on your own, just for the sake of how long this AMA goes. I know there'll be like lots of things we're talking about, lots of things I want to dig into, and lots of questions. So going to let you guys go through lore on its own. We have a few just kind of screenshots attached as well. The pipeline. Set in a distant chapter of RavenQuest past, Fortune's Frontier invites players to explore untamed islands scattered with lost treasure from a legendary shipwreck. In this fast-paced PvPvE experience, adventurers will battle creatures, clash with rivals, and attempt to escape the islands with whatever fortune they carry. One thing I want to also share, there's some very unique mechanics that we have in Fortune's Frontier that we're very excited about, and things that we couldn't, like the reason why it's also a separate game mode and not, for example, like a plunder on steroids or something, is because there's certain mechanics that just don't work in RavenQuest with how the gear system works. For example, full loot PvP. And so those are some things that we really wanted to explore, and Fortune's Frontier allowed us to do that. So there's some pretty unique mechanics that we're going to get into. Yeah, you'll see. Fortune's Frontier doesn't exist in isolation. It's the first chapter of a longer journey. When a season of Fortune's Frontier ends, adventurers who have experienced the world, the combat, and the thrill of the frontier will have a natural path forward, RavenQuest itself. Full world, the deeper systems, the persistent progression, the guild's economy, the endgame. Everything that Fortune's Frontier streamlines away is waiting for them on the other side. This is intentional. Fortune's Frontier is designed to be an entry point, the mode that removes every barrier, lets new players experience what RavenQuest is really about, and then hands them the keys to the full game when they are ready. Every season of Fortune's Frontier is a new wave of adventurers discovering this world for the first time. And every season, some of those adventurers will stay. They will transition into RavenQuest, join guilds, participate in the economy, and become part of the community that's been here since the beginning. That's the vision. Fortune's Frontier isn't just a game mode, it's a growth engine. A frontier built on risk. Fortune's Frontier is designed as a new game mode addition within RavenQuest. I'll slow down, by the way, because I know Vivs is translating. And also, I know for many of you, your English second language, and I talk really fast. I apologize if I'm going too quick, but yeah. Whether you are a seasoned RavenQuest veteran, whether you are a seasoned RavenQuest veteran or an adventurer stepping into the world for the first time, Fortune's Frontier is designed so that anyone can jump in and begin competing for fortune within minutes. Using the same launcher and client, adventurers will be able to create a new character specifically for Frontier simply by selecting it as their game mode. From there, they can jump straight into the action and begin their journey among the scattered islands of lost fortune. So you'll see there'll just be 2 game mode swaps here. When it's live, you'll be able to click Fortune's Frontier, otherwise just RavenQuest, and you can just use the same client to jump between both. Originally, we were going to make a separate client. We put in a lot more work to make it all within the same client. Because there are a lot of different UI things with Fortune's Frontier. So it's a bit extra work, but very much worth doing. Additionally, Fortune's Frontier will also be testing out our new sharding technology that we've been building. Something that allows us to have like all players in the same central city, but then when you go out into the world, based on the amount of players, we're able to like regulate the density of different islands and stuff like that. And so providing a very unique experience. The other thing that's not discussed in here that I do want to say, Fortune's Frontier is built around smaller party size. It's not designed around guilds or massive parties. We have several mechanics in the game that are kind of anti-Zergane mechanics. And we did this very intentionally. We didn't want this to be, you know, one or two guilds just end up completely dominating. We wanted to build something that's more small skirmish PvP. And that's part of how the sharding tech is built. And many of the mechanics within Fortune's Frontier are built. We'll be sharing more on those mechanics leading up to launch. But really the goal is kind of like either solo adventuring or kind of 2-3 person parties. So yeah, there's a lot of mechanics in the game that are kind of built around that. We already have very much large scale open world PvP availability in RavenQuest. We don't have any anti-Zerg mechanics or anything like that. We wanted to build a game system that's much more around smaller skirmishes. With a very low barrier to entry, characters begin their adventure already at an advanced level, allowing players to immediately participate in the core experience without the need for long progression or preparation. So you will already start at a level where you will be able to access legacy skills. However, you will have a reduced amount of skill points. This is basically to make it much more accessible for a brand new player. And also, it's a lever that we're able to pull each season. So we will be like adjusting different things each Frontier season to completely shake up the meta. So between balance patches, but then also the amount of skill points you might have or amount of passive points you might have between each season. The first season will definitely be like the smaller amount of skill points just to make the most easy barrier to entry. But don't worry, there'll still be quite a bit. You'll still have, you won't be like running around with a level 30 build or something. But there's also other customizations in Fortune's Frontier, like trinkets, which we'll be talking about, that change your playstyle quite a bit as well. Many of the deeper systems present in RavenQuest will also be streamlined or temporarily set aside. The goal is to keep the experience focused, accessible, and fast-paced, allowing adventurers to concentrate on what truly defines the frontier: exploration, combat, and the thrill of chasing treasure while danger lurks around every corner. Additionally, Fortune's Frontier is built around a seasonal structure. Throughout each season, adventurers will compete, explore the islands, and gather treasure while building their fortune. At the end of each season, the frontier resets, offering a fresh opportunity for players to test new strategies, chase greater fortunes, and claim their place among the most successful adventurers of that cycle. The goal is simple: navigate the islands, obtain treasure, escape alive. But the deeper you venture into the frontier, the more dangerous your journey becomes. A new map to explore. The frontier unfolds across 3 pirate islands, with the wreck-built city of Fortune's Frontier at the center. Built from broken decks, shattered hulls, and remains of the great vessel, Fortune's Frontier serves as the main hub where adventurers prepare their journeys, manage their treasures, and plan their next venture into the wild. Sejeko, Harbor, and Gilead are now in a much wilder form. Housing areas have been removed, revealing a harsher and more dangerous version of the region's past. Creatures roam the jungles, ruins, and coastlines, guarding valuable equipment and treasure left behind from the dawn of fortune. These islands are far from empty. So essentially, Sejeko, Harbor, and Gilead have had a bunch of changes to them. They no longer have the housing zones for Fortune's Frontier because there's no housing in it. And instead, there's new spawns in those locations. But every battle carries risk, and also like cities on those islands as well have been changed into hostile cities. There's a ton of changes, new spawns, new creatures, but every battle carries risk, and not every part of the frontier offers. Okay, wait, let me answer some questions first. Let me read chat a little bit here before we jump into that. Also, bad habit, don't do Zins, kids. Only 3 times a year could be too infrequent. To be clear, this is like very, like we weren't even sure if we were going to include this in there because it's very up in the air. Like we very well may do 5 seasons a year. We very well may do them 5 days long. This is very much like free flowing. It'll kind of depend on what we see with it. If we think the design makes sense for being longer, less frequent, or shorter, more frequent, that's very much like loose. Consider that value to be the loosest value in this entire dev blog, okay? In terms of the duration of a season and then also the frequency. Jesus, someone post the link to Fortune's Frontier. It's not under YouTube VOD. Yeah, it's not getting posted till I'm done going through it. Shut up, Daniel. Wait until it's done. Sorry, a lot of this is talking back and forth amongst people, so I'm just looking for questions. Let's keep scrolling down. Will it be similar to Black Zones and Albion? Yes, Albion and RuneScape gave a lot of our inspiration for Fortune's Frontier. RuneScape Wilderness gave a lot of inspiration. Albion Zones gave a lot of inspiration. But this has been something that we've wanted to build for years. Because we love the type of looting system, which we'll talk about soon, and the risk zone system, which we'll talk about soon as well. Yeah. Can you give a practice example of how they would be ported to RavenQuest? So the characters won't be ported, but there will be like reasons for them and easy ways for them to move over into RavenQuest. At the end of the dev blog, we mention additional dev blogs that we're going to be posting. One of those will be all about that. It does look like Mist and Albion, but you start with a new character. Yeah, and to be clear, like there's a million, like people were saying like Arc Raiders, people were saying Tarkov, people were saying Dark and Darker. You can insert like a million games here, right? We have a pretty unique design that are very different from like how like Tarkov are and stuff. I would say it's closer to, yeah, it's kind of like a between of like RuneScape Wilderness, Albion Zones, and like Tarkov, and so it's kind of its own Frankenstein of that. We took things that we liked from each and kind of made them our own. But you can get like so many examples of games that have either game modes like this or an actual, or that's the actual game loop, right? Wait, so people get auto level to 75 and keep it? That was never mentioned. And that's not the plan, no. Sounds super fun already. I can see the hype. Yeah, we've been building this out for quite a long time in kind of the shadows. We wanted to wait until we felt we could share as much of it as possible, because even like I did a small kind of leak about it, and right away people were, you know, oh my God, like are we never going to play our RavenQuest characters again? And then I had to like kind of like share about that. Like so we wanted to wait until we kind of had everything to share. But this has been something that we've been building on the shadows and very excited about, and something that we've built with a very clear purpose, which really is our 2026 objective, which is bringing in new waves of players, giving that much better accessibility to the game and quicker jump in and play with your friends and compete with others. But then also making sure we had a very strong transition from that over to the main game. And yeah, we're very excited about the design we've built and what this brings for 2026. And just to really quickly jump to the chase, because I know many of you guys are wondering, this is releasing in Q2 of 2026 here. So quite soon. We will do a public beta first for it. Yeah, we won't be announcing the date here today, but we will be announcing the date in the quite near future. But it is releasing Q2 here. We're not sharing something that's coming in like November of this year or anything like that. And now that you've built it, you can focus on Elder Coast and Frost Steps Journal. True. Do agree on focusing on main game afterplays. We're working on this in tandem. We have more than one employee in the company. Some work on one thing, some work on other. One of our engineers was essentially building this last few months. The rest of the team has been working on sharding system, the new movement system, which I've kind of lightly leaked, working on the world boss system, the new expedition system, the balance patch. We have more than one staff in the company. So we're able to build out a PvP thing, new PvP system. We're able to build out PvE systems. We're able to do everything. Yeah. Or everything in tandem, I should say, not everything. We definitely can't do everything. Even if we had 1,000 people like Blizzard, we wouldn't be able to do everything. I just don't want RavenQuest to turn into a game. Yeah, that's exactly why we built it the way we did with the seasonal game mode, etc. That's definitely not our intention is, hey, let's make a new game mode. And then this is basically what everyone just plays 24/7. That's why we are doing seasonal based. Even if the community was just like, let's say Fortune's Frontier drops and it has like 100,000 players and it's just everyone just loves it. They're obsessed with it. We still would want it to be a seasonal thing. We want it to be something that each season feels very different. We bring in new systems, we bring in changes, etc. We want it to feel different every time. And ultimately, RavenQuest, we want, the idea is giving them a highly accessible opportunity to try RavenQuest. We have one employee. Wow, even maybe two. Yeah, I think we have two now. We've doubled in size. Will Carnival come back? I missed if you explained. I haven't talked about Carnival. We've decided that anytime we drop the Carnival, it'll be around major content updates. So we want to bring a major content update with the Carnival each time. And yeah. Oh, new movement. Everyone's asking about movement. Leak the movement system again. What new movement? Okay, I'll lightly leak. This is a really early leak, okay? Because this is like in testing and there's a lot to do on it. Oh, see, I'm going to like leak it and there's going to be more questions and concerns like always. And people are going to be like, well, what about this? And what about that? And I'm going to be like, I should have waited until we had a whole dev blog on how everything's changing. But I'm going to trust you guys not to do this, okay? Like I say every time and then you guys never do it. I just hear sharding system. Sharding. Phasing. Can you explain more about this? Everyone is one. Yeah, so again, we'll have a follow-up full dev blog about that. You guys mentioned a ballistic buff. Yeah, it's on our roadmap. We'll be talking about the roadmap in this stream as well. I think the next patch is the balance patch. When new lucky coin treasure chest event? What's a lucky coin? What do you mean by that? Everyone, don't ask more questions about the what? Oh, frick, my freaking the leak. Yeah. Woo balance patch. Draconzor, that was okay. Need to be very careful when removing the square meter system. Likely require more from servers. That's been the most important thing to solve. Okay, I'll talk about it. We've been working on something for quite a while. One of our lead engineers, and a very complicated change because it structurally changes so much in the game. That's why it's not like a simple thing. But we've been testing out changing the movement system to still behave very, very similarly, but allow much more flexible movement. So instead of 32 by 32 pixel tiles, so when you move, you're essentially moving like a tile each time, right? And this is why a lot of players will either one, like feel lag more because they're jumping a whole tile. It makes some really awkward things with ships. But additionally, it also can kind of feel laggy, right? Because you're moving and you can't like turn back while you're moving tiles, especially when you're slower movement speed or slowed. It feels very unresponsive. And it also very much limits stuff, right? When it comes to player abilities, when it comes to dodging, when it comes to movement abilities, when it comes to boss mechanics, it very much limits us, right? Because we have to do tiles, we can't really do circles, we have to do like big boxes. I want to be clear, guys. You guys are going to have like a lot of like, oh, but what about this? Like, oh, well, this is going to change that. These are all things that we've been working on with it, and problems that we've been coming across that we already foresaw, new ones that came up that we've been solving. And I'm happy to share about it now because we've solved the big challenges. But essentially what it's doing is instead of being on a 32 by 32 tile, those tiles are broken down into much, much smaller tiles. So movement basically feels completely fluid, like in a game like World of Warcraft or most modern MMORPGs. And so it allows you to like run along a mountain wall. It allows like circular abilities and boss mechanics. It allows for much more fluid, like diagonal movement and all that kind of stuff. Mount movement, everything, ship movement. It is like night and day. It's pretty incredible. We don't have any ETA on this, by the way. This is something that requires a lot of changes. We have to change every ability in the game, every boss in the game. There's a lot of things we have to do before it goes live. I have no idea when this will go live. It's still very much in development, but I wanted to share it with you guys since I already kind of half leaked it. What about energy or stamina in Fortune's Frontier to incentivize efficiency? I think that's in the dev blog. (2020 was COVID, was 6 years ago. That is insane to think about. That is, oh my God. 2027 is closer than COVID. We're just being impatient. Rank, you keep sending the same message. There will be a new map in RavenQuest, a new quest, another identical quest, and a Dragon Forge. I'm not, you sent it like 4 times. I'm not sure. I thought you were responding to someone first, and now I'm really confused with the messages. I assume you want me to see it, but I have no idea what you're saying. Raven Idol, we always, by the way, this is a RavenQuest stream. We always stagger content releases. So Raven Idol will generally come, like a new season of Raven Idol will usually come in a staggered release with RavenQuest big things. We usually don't try and drop them around the same time. When the new movement system, we waited 5 minutes already. Should be finished in past QA by now. I know this is the thing. I'll share things. I'll be like, guys, we have no ETA on this. We have no idea when it's going to come. Just wanted to share. And then 2 weeks later, people are like, when is it coming? Well, I thought you said it was coming. And it's like, God damn it. I will regret it. I'll regret it as always. But in the moment, in this moment right now, I'm not regretting it. Okay, let's continue. But every battle carries risk, and not every part of the frontier offers the same level of safety. In Sejeko, adventurers can explore with minimal consequences. Should you fall in battle here, you will only lose the treasures gathered during that adventure, allowing players to learn the frontier and experiment with its dangers without risking everything. In Harbor, where the stakes grow higher, death means losing everything carried in your inventory, and any rival adventurer who defeats you may claim those spoils for themselves. Then Gilead. Here, survival becomes a true gamble. Those who fall will lose everything they carry, including their equipment, leaving their gear and belongings behind. Walking the thin line between risk and reward lies at the core of Fortune's Frontier gameplay. And in these deadly islands, every adventure becomes both hunter and prey. The deeper you venture into the frontier, the greater the dangers become. But for those willing to risk it all, the rewards may be greater than anything found in safer islands. Arming for the frontier. But how do you face the dangers of the frontier and the rival adventurers who may be hunting the very same treasure? As hinted above, in Fortune's Frontier, equipment is earned directly through adventure. Weapons and armors can be discovered while exploring the islands, allowing adventurers to strengthen their character and adapt their build as the journey unfolds. Encounters with creatures and Aether Stones may all yield new gear that can shift the balance of a fight or help a desperate escape into a successful one. Rather than relying on long preparation or pre-built equipment, the Frontier encourages players to make the most of what they discover along the way. Every run becomes a dynamic journey of adaptation, where the tools you find may shape the strategy you choose. Before setting out, adventurers will choose a before I jump into trinkets, this is a big thing that we want to explore with Fortune's Frontier, is creatures dropping gear. So in RavenQuest, as you guys know, it's a very player-driven economy, and we love that design. There's a reason we did that design. This has huge conflicts once you have gear dropping from creatures. There's very few, if any, MMOs that kind of do both well. Really, it ends up leaning into one or the other, or they make crafters like enhance that gear or something like that. But of course, there's a lot of thrill in killing a creature and getting a hyper rare drop from it, and especially when that's equipment. And so this is something that we want to build out in Fortune's Frontier with a different kind of gear progression style. And on top of that, there is no infusing, there's no upgrading that gear, and that allows us to do a full loot PvP system. So you can get that kind of tier 7 weapon, go to Gilead, be grinding mobs, die, lose it, and now you're dropping back down to your tier 4 weapon again. And there's also some pretty cool syncs as well for equipment in Fortune's Frontier. But Fortune's Frontier is very much more designed around gear power and that kind of risk related to what gear or loadout you go with, as opposed to just grinding mobs to get more experience and get more infusions and stuff like that. It's a very different RavenQuest experience that we wanted to build. So it does feel very fresh and unique for veteran players as well. Rather than relying, before setting out, adventurers will also choose a trinket, a special item that grants unique advantages during their adventure. Each trinket offers a different benefit, allowing players to tailor their approach depending on how they plan to face the challenges ahead. Some may favor trinkets that help hunt rival explorers. Others may prefer tools that improve survivability, mobility, or treasure gathering. Choosing the right trinket can shape the entire flow of an exploration run. Combined with equipment discovered across the islands, these choices allow players to experiment with different strategies and playstyles every time they venture into the frontier. So essentially, trinkets are much more impactful in Fortune's Frontier, but you will essentially pick a trinket anytime you go off into one of the islands, so you can change each time. And they will not only have an active ability, but also a passive benefit as well. So there's greed trinkets, which increase the amount of treasure you can find while you're out on the islands. There's more hunting or like hunter focused trinkets that help you, that give you an edge when killing other players. And then also for players that don't want to go be greedy and they don't want to be looking for people to kill, there's more kind of defensive trinkets that make it harder for someone to kill you. So there's kind of a rock, paper, scissors, I guess, between them. But in terms of kind of what you take will change kind of how your island run looks. And really the goal here is we want to allow for players that are like, hey, I don't want to be like the sheep constantly. They're able to take like a defensive trinket. The greedy player who's like, I want to really min-max this run, they can take treasure, like the greed trinket. And players that want to be looking for people to kill, especially people with the greed trinket, they're able to take the PvP trinket. These impacts won't be like, it's not like you're going to do 100% more PvP damage or something like that. So it's not like because of the trinket you chose, you just insta lose to whatever the other side is. But it definitely enhances your ability to for that chosen activity. And again, you can change that trinket every run you do. So every single time you go to an island, you will pick a trinket to go with that run. So like, why make a game mode that's only 4 weeks a year? How does that invite new people? So I already talked about this, about the duration, how frequent it is, that is completely subject to change. We just wanted to put roughly so people understand. While exploring the islands, adventurers may... we talked so much about other things as well. I assume you just tuned in. VOD will be uploaded though, so you'll be able to tune into all of it. While exploring the islands, adventurers may uncover treasure pouches and treasure chests scattered across the wilderness. These containers hold fragments of the lost wealth once carried by the Dawn of Fortune. But finding treasure is only the beginning. To truly claim their reward, they must survive the journey back to Fortune's Frontier, the central city. Only there, the treasure can be safely converted into silver, the primary currency of this game mode. And the more treasure you carry, the more dangerous your journey becomes. A heavily laden adventure is a tempting target, and many fortunes are not earned through discovery alone, but through confrontation. Sometimes the quickest path to riches is claiming the treasure someone else fought to find. Throughout the islands, rare encounters may also emerge during exploration, offering unique opportunities for those bold enough to pursue them. Among the secrets scattered across the frontier are monk songs, mysterious musical relics hidden across islands, waiting to be uncovered by curious explorers. But silver serves a purpose beyond individual wealth. Each Fortune's Frontier season will feature a reward pool, which grows throughout the season. The more treasure players recover and convert to silver, the larger their share of the reward pool grows, rewarding those with big or small amounts of silver, but further rewarding those who rise to the top of the Frontier's most daring treasure hunters. In the end, every journey contributes to a greater prize, and in a land built on lost fortunes, greed may be the most powerful force of all. I'm going to catch up a little bit on chat here, and then I'm going to jump into the next section. RavenQuest takes too much time for me. Something like this is way better. Short bursts of intense competition is the way. Yeah, it's again a big part of Fortune's Frontier is there's so many different elements of why we built it, but it's also for players like you. There's so many players that have mentioned, like, I don't have the time, but I could like take a week off work and just grind out a seasonal kind of mode, and that they would love that. This has been something that's been requested for so long, and something that we wanted to kind of build out at a slow pace without like dedicating our full resources to it. And because we knew that whenever we finished building something like this, it would be a good time for it. We didn't feel like it was something that had to be rushed out or anything like that. We wanted to build out other content as well in parallel. But we're very excited to be able to share now. I think the first time we even lightly leaked about Fortune's Frontier, I think without even a name, was back in like December. Yeah, we're very excited. We've put a lot of work into this, and it's something that we're very excited about. Quest ecosystem. Fortune's Frontier isn't just good for new player growth for RavenQuest. It's for supercharging the Quest ecosystem long term. Every season of Fortune's Frontier is a new injection of players into the ecosystem. Players who will go on to participate in the broader game, spend Quest, and contribute to the buyback and burn cycles that underpin the token's long-term strength. We've always believed that the best thing we can do for Quest long-term is build content that people genuinely want to play. Fortune's Frontier is the most direct expression of that belief we've ever built. A mode designed from the ground up to lower the barrier to entry, bring in new players at scale, and convert them into long-term participants in the RavenQuest world. More players, more activity, more ecosystem health. That's the thesis. What's next? Ready to venture into the frontier. Pre-register below to secure an exclusive reward. We have a special pre-registration reward. To be clear, you're not registering an account. You're just going on the mailing list to be notified. It takes a second. You just toss your email in. Even if you already have a registered account for RavenQuest, still do it, because that email list will get sent those free rewards. Yeah, it's on our landing page. This will go live in a sec, by the way. Same with the landing page. And then you guys will be able to, it's at the very bottom. But the landing page is basically just like a simplified dev blog, but it's pretty. Actually, maybe, is this live already? No, not yet. This dev blog is the first look at Fortune's Frontier, and there's a lot more to come in the weeks ahead. The islands in detail, a closer look at each island and the secrets hidden across the frontier. Trinkets, a full breakdown of Fortune's Frontier unique trinket system and the strategies it opens up. The path to RavenQuest, how Fortune's Frontier connects to the main world of RavenQuest, and what's waiting for both new and returning adventurers when each season ends. The reward system, how the season reward pool works, and how the top adventurers will be recognized. Season 1 launch date, the moment the frontier opens for the first time. Stay close, these are dropping soon. Until then, prepare yourselves. The frontier awaits. That is the dev blog, guys. This will go live on the website, and also the landing page will go live shortly. So feel free to go there to check it out in more detail. Also, by the way, I figured out what was causing the stream to drop. It was Restream. We use Restream usually, and as soon as I turned off Restream, it was fine. So, raids would have been a better addition. Well, that segments into our next topic of raids or world bosses. Actually, I don't know if that's our next topic here, but it will be a topic that's coming up. Okay. What's the, here, we're going to turn off sharing this. Turn that off. Turn that off. Live stream loop. Okay, turn off window capture here. Oh, this got, why did it all get moved? I don't know why it all got moved. We're going to fix it. We're going to fix it. I don't know why all the formatting got screwed up on this. Whatever. It's perfect. It looks beautiful. Matt, tell him he won't listen. Vitronics, you've been in here long enough and you've been listening to the whole live stream when I literally already talked about world boss raids. So I come on, man. Like you're better than that. I know you are. Unless you tuned in like 5 minutes ago, but I feel like you've been here the whole time and you're better than that, man. I still don't understand the reason why a veteran player would play. Again, we have a full dev blog coming on just that reason as well. Unfortunately, we can't put every single thing in a single dev blog. We don't want to make it like 10 pages long. That's why we have 5 more announced. One of them is exactly on that. Oh my God, Wimps got timed out? Wait, why? He said, I am the world boss. Wait, why'd you time him out? Oh, remove the timeout. I think she made a mistake. Poor Wimps. Rip Wimps. Sorry, Wimps. I was like, God damn, I did not expect him to get timed out. Mr. Nighter, nice stream, well explained, directly to the point. Can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. If not, thank you. Justice for Wimps. Hell yeah. He's already... Dictator Saul. She saw Wimps' name and she just had to time him out. Okay. Let's get into, let me share. I don't know if I have the latest graphic for it. Let me take a look here. Okay. Since you guys demand and like roadmaps so much, we do have a light roadmap for you guys. Something that we've realized with roadmaps is we like to be flexible. If there's a system that we feel needs a lot of work ASAP or something that needs to take priority, we want to be able to move it there. However, we have a rough kind of Q2 or spring roadmap that we wanted to share with you guys, just kind of a few core pillars. It's not going to be super deep into like every single thing in those. It's kind of just roughly some things that I know you guys are looking for. And then as those updates come, more will be shared in them. But just wanted to add this. Like, I don't know why everything got resized. 1 year anniversary events, which just went live. We will have a major balance patch coming shortly. I believe it's cleared QA now. I believe it's basically just now getting ready to be deployed to the live servers. And then we will have a major spring content update, and then the global release of Fortune's Frontier. And then with that, probably like the day of Fortune's Frontier season ending, the character Bazaar will be released. The character Bazaar is currently in QA, but we're probably going to be dropping it around then, maybe before Fortune's Frontier. We're not sure yet. Yeah. Rabiko, did you just tune in? Because I've already shared about 9 times that we're going to be talking about World Boss Raids. But maybe you just tuned in. If so, you can jump back to the VOD to me talking about how it's, I'm going to be sharing about it today. Uzark, that's exactly why it's a little bit later on the roadmap intentionally. Churi, I answer that in pretty big detail during about 30 minutes ago in the VOD. So if you just tuned in, hop back in the VOD and I share on that. Yeah, Captain, definitely. Fixed webcam. Oh my God. Why did everything get all... I don't understand. Everything got like resized. Thank you for mentioning that. I didn't even notice. Osvol, if you go to the dev blog at the bottom, we mention how there is a 2 more dev blogs coming out that will dive into exactly that. Spring content, raids. Zelda, very astute of you. Very, very clever there. I love it when people can put 1 and 1 together. Newbie streamer. God damn it, Wasaki. See, now you're getting shit deleted. But it's true. It's also true though. I'm trying to think. Okay. I'm going to do a couple more things before we share the World Boss teasers. The first thing I wanted to mention is moving forward, we've noticed that like the forum or kind of like threads or feedback threads in the Discord, forum, feedback threads, whatever you want to call it. I think Discord calls them forums or whatever. But they're awesome. They're so helpful for being able to like see the community upvoting, downvoting ideas, discussing ideas in like a tailored area that we can jump in and there's not like 80 other messages of spam. This is an area where I've seen more and more people like myself, CMs, our project manager, we tend to like read in there way more nowadays. It's just way better. And it's also better for like discussing ideas because even if it's an idea from like a week ago, we can pull up the discussion with people discussing it really easily. Moving forward, and whether you believe it or not, we read every single feedback thread. If you make a feedback thread, I promise you it's getting read. Sometimes we don't like acknowledge it. And that is something that I've spoken to the team that we want to improve on, that at least you know that it's been read. To be clear, there's a lot of bad ideas in there too. But at least understand it's been read. Usually CMs will like put like a check mark or 100 or a react icon to it, so that you know that it has been read and brought to the team. But some ideas we just don't like, or we think they're just bad ideas or they have huge flaws. But this is an area that's like very productive for us to discuss ideas with the community and hear community ideas. So moving forward, even more so, we're going to be putting a lot more time and focus into discussing ideas in those threads and reading through all of them as well. Like myself personally, not just like CMs bringing them to our team and game design and stuff, but myself actually directly discussing and with them. So if you have like feedback, ideas, changes you want to see, if you actually want it to be heard and you don't want to just vent about something, put it in there. It's way more likely it'll be engaged with by myself, a project manager, someone from the game design team. It's way more likely it'll get to us through a CM, etc. We've noticed this because there's like a few people that kind of on loop will just like give the same feedback or not like something. So they're just like complaining about it in like a tavern or whatever. And it many times gets to us, but many times is also like, oh, like I want to share my thoughts on it. And it's kind of hard. Now it's like 300 messages back, and people that were involved in the conversation, it's harder for them to see it as well because I'm replying to one person. So if you have feedback, that's a way better place to put it. Additionally, in patch notes now, we're going to start including when it's a community suggestion and community feedback as well. So you can see if your idea was actually like taken and done and implemented. So if you have like feedback or changes that you want to see or something that you don't like or whatever, feedback threads are going to be way better to do them. It's way more likely to get seen. If you don't really care about it being seen, you're just trying to like vent or whatever, and you put in the tavern, just know that you're doing that with the intention of like, you don't actually care if it gets changed, and we'll assume as such. Otherwise, make a feedback thread about it. It's just way more organized, way better for our team to actually implement stuff or change stuff, or at least share why we won't do it, or what the flaw is. Because again, we're so far from perfect. We make tons of mistakes. We make lots of changes that aren't the best, and we revert them, or we make another change because of it. Because no one is perfect at their job, but we also do have a lot of experience with a lot of stuff. And I learned this from going from an avid gamer all my life to actually working in game development. And very quickly, I realized how stupid I was for the 20 years that I was an MMO player on most of the ideas I had, because I realized, like, you know, it's many times way more complex than you think. And that also comes to a lot of feedback. Like if I was to see the feedback I gave to games back before I was in the profession, I would be like, I was like completely an idiot, even though I thought it was like, oh, this is such a no-brainer. Because with time, like you understand, like there's so many moving pieces. Maybe a certain change makes sense, but it has downstream effects that are really bad, really negative. And of course we understand this, right? Like just like we wouldn't come into your profession and be like, oh, it's this simple, right? But with that, this allows us to better at least share our thoughts as to why, because many times like there's a feedback given and I kind of share just a couple sentences and it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense why it wouldn't work. I don't always have time to do that, but I try to dedicate as much time as possible to it. And moving forward, that's just gonna be way more structured for us to do it. So if you have feedback, open a thread. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Rangers company. No one is perfect at their job. Not true. I'm actually unemployed. Hell yeah. But I'm pretty sure you could min-max your unemployedness harder. Hype for these changes coming. Yeah, we have a lot. We've been cooking a lot behind the scenes. Okay, let me close this. Let me go. Roadmap gone. Here's just a few screenshots we have of the Frontier City that I wanted to share. Yeah, all of them are screwed up in terms of their location, so bear with me. Bear with me. These are some of like the changed areas on the islands. Jekko changes. And now we're going to talk about one more thing before we talk about world bosses. The last thing is we've been doing, or we will be doing, we just finished the design of it, a very large rework to the Rangers company. There's going to be, it's a pretty big rework and amount of work in general. Something we thought would be simpler, but it's actually quite a bit to do. The first thing is right now there's a huge issue with the Rangers company where the tasks are very long for players or very too fast for players. And so a lot of people were asking us to add in like the idea to like lock the same task or to do like a hardcore version where you can do it 10 times, etc. And while originally we were going to do that design, really the reason we built the Rangers company is sometimes you need to eat your vegetables, and sometimes as a designer you need to help players do that, in the sense of killing the exact same mob and the exact same spawn always long term is not the most fun result. Even though it's like min-max, and min-maxers are always going to lean towards it, we built the Rangers company with the intention to drive variety, right? So you might go grind a spawn that you don't usually grind, and you're doing that because of the Rangers company. However, in its current design, it just feels punishing. It doesn't feel like rewarding for that. It feels like punishing when you don't get the spawn you want. And that's not a good design. That's a really poor design, right? You want, when you're doing something that maybe it's like you're not your favorite spawn, you should be rewarded for that, not feel like you're just getting punished for not getting what you wanted. And so there's a few changes we're making with Rangers Company. The first one is to solve kind of the issue where they're way too quick or way too long. We will be making it based on kill count. So instead of based on experience, it will be based on a kill count of those mobs. The amount of kill count will of course scale based on how much EXP the mobs are. So harder mobs, you have to kill less of them than easier mobs. But additionally, we've been building something out pretty big with Rangers Company that is essentially tasks that get chosen less. So likely spawns that people don't like as much will actually get boosted. So it'll work very similar to the trade pack system, where if a certain trade pack is not done as much, it actually rewards more. We will be doing a similar design for Rangers Company. So tasks that are selected less, people don't want to go to that spawn, or they don't like that spawn or whatever, they will actually give a bigger reward from it. And to be clear, not bounty mark wise, it'll be other benefit wise, because the bounty marks are obviously something that you'll always min max at. And this will work completely player driven. So as players do that one that gets boosted more, it'll automatically also self balance like the trade pack system. So we're doing a pretty big rework to Rangers Company with that. But just wanted to give kind of a teaser on what's coming there. People really like it, which is awesome. Okay, 10 kills and you're done. Yeah, no. So it'll be quite different. We really want this to be like a grinding experience, not like go there, kill for 3 minutes and you're done. We wanted to make it something like it's almost like an added boost for going to a certain spawn in general, but even a further one for maybe a spawn that you don't like. So you can still, and again, this is all player driven, right? So what that means is like the boost might be really worth it, but it could go down, right? As other people do it. And so it's going to be constantly self-balancing. Yeah, it's a design we really, really love, and something we're also looking at for other parts of the game. Some, like for example, trade packs, fishing, mechanics like that, where we have a built-in supply and demand system to it. So trade packs have it within trade packs already, but as you guys know, silver inflates. There's other ways to obtain silver. People get higher level, they grind faster, new content comes out. And so that's another thing that we're looking to build out, which is essentially kind of a supply and demand. So if nobody is fishing, the value of fish goes up. If nobody's running trade packs, the value of trade packs goes up. So really using that principle on a wider scale part of the game. Yeah. Then stop doing Rangers Company. That's okay. You don't have to do every piece of content in the game if you don't want to. But I'm glad majority love it. But if you're like, I don't want to do them if I get a bigger boost from the areas I don't want to go to, then yeah, you don't need to do them. Is there a way to change that mechanic of trade back value dynamically, making it closer to the market value of materials? So that's something that we explored at one point, but there's very easy abuses to that. And so that's why we prefer the dynamic system based on the amount kind of getting run versus other content. But yeah, definitely something that we've been taking a look at. Okay, next thing here. Next thing is we have something huge that we're going to be announcing soon around the ecosystem. But I'm going to save that. I'm going to save that for an announcement. We have something very large on that side, but we're gonna save that. We've shared a lot already, and we still have the world boss teasers, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about the world boss system as well. Please whisper to Niter daily. Duck pet when? God damn it. BTC Matt, we have different strategies when it comes to those. When we feel like it's when we can notice certain patterns that are kind of being gamified, we like to keep it not gamified. So when we stop, it's because we're pooling for a larger one. And we have a very clear schedule internally on what we want to do and when we want to time it. Yeah, we see certain things and we realize kind of how it's being traded across and against, and we want to make sure that can't be gamified. So when we don't, we pool it and then we do a larger push. This has been the most amount of pooling we've done by quite a bit. Anyone ask about how many community large lands were bought? I have to get the updated number. I know when I saw the number like a few hours after it was released and was shocked. I didn't think it would be that high and how quick. But I haven't gotten the updated number since it was released. But we'll be building something out to see all the quests that is going from the large community land to landowners. And this will be a gameplay incentive. So we'll do it in some different ways with like events or whatever that are for landowners specifically. But first we want to let it pool a little bit. So we have like a nice like kind of backlog on that for events. Yeah. Maybe in the spring update, we'll do our first one there, or maybe before the spring update already. Oh, also, on the landing page of Fortune's Frontier, you put your email in, you'll get a free pet in RavenQuest as well. Just so you know, when Fortune's Frontier releases. I want to take a minute to thank the team for all your hard work these past 2 years, including the beta. Enjoy Niter Monk Bear emote when saying hello to friends. Thank you. I appreciate that. But also just thank you for the kind words. It generally does mean a lot to us. 90% of our job is dealing with criticism and feedback, and that's kind of just the natural part of anyone that works in the game industry. It's a pretty well-known thing across game developers. But at the same time, there are those like silver linings of people. Like we know for every person that complains, they care about the game enough to complain. And there's people that complain in a very important way. Like a lot of the feedback threads, it's like, it's very well structured. It's not meant to just be an asshole. It's because they want the game to improve in a certain way. And that's like so valuable to us, right? Because it gives us an idea of like what players are looking for, what they want changed, etc. And then there's like the wrong way to do it, which honestly is like 5% of people. I'd say like 5% of people are just like shitty about it. And most of the community knows who those people are. And all of us in our team, we know who those people are. It's always the same people, but they're usually the most vocal. But at the same time, like messages like that, actually, they do mean a lot, right? Because again, most of what we deal with is criticism, because that's usually when people are going to be vocal. So it means a lot when someone takes the time to send just like a nice message too. It means a lot. I complain so much. Every bitchy player actually loves the game. It's very true. It's very, very true. That's like what I've been doing this job now, like game development for almost 11 years now, since 2015, summer of 2015. And at first I took it like super personal the first few years, and I still sometimes do, because like, when you work really fucking hard, you give up so much like personal life stuff. You're working 7 days a week nonstop, and then in the Discord before bed, like responding to people, and then someone's just shitty. It's like sometimes you're like, what the fuck am I doing this for? Like, why don't I just like enjoy the night and not even respond to this person? But for every piece of that, there's also players who I'm like, this means so much to them, and this is something that I value so much, which is a game that, anytime I love a game, it means so much to me. and it's something that you're excited to go play and play with your friends and make new friends and new relationships. And I just always remind myself of that to a lot of people, it means so much. And many times, you know, they're just frustrated, right? They want something. And there's like overstepping on that. And there's people who just do it all the time. And I assume they're just unhappy in general, because there's a level of like caring and then also just being an asshat. And some people are just asshats, and that's something to understand as well. And that's why, you know, there are some people that we just eventually remove from the community. We're like, listen, you're just fucking exhausting all the time. And we try to do very little of it. And I think like last year, our bans that weren't like related to spam, they were just related to like a shitty person. I think in like a year, it was like 20 people. Like, I think it's like such a small fucking number. If you're amongst that like very small amount, yeah, it says a lot, because we really try not to do it. And I'm always pushing back with the CMs like, hey guys, let's figure this out. See, now my backplate thing got screwed up too. There we go. I think it's fixed now. Yeah. Anyways, little side tangent there. Yeah, that's dead on, Grushers. Something that we've been exploring though. Yeah, also true, Grushers, your other message as well. Oh, also, we have a very unique cosmetic system on Fortune's Frontier as well. A very unique cosmetic system. So I won't share too much on that now. But very cool way of obtaining cosmetics on Fortune's Frontier. Yeah, there's like so much we didn't share in the dev blog, by the way. We also didn't talk about like the energy system. There is like an energy system for a lot of reasons. Something that I hate energy systems in games. But I chatted a lot with a few different veteran players and players that have played other games with kind of energy systems and why that design is important. And holy shit, did they convince me. One of the biggest things is just people griefing. It decentivizes the reason to sit around and grief. And yeah, we built a very cool system with energy around Fortune's Frontier, which we'll be sharing more. There's so much still to share on it. We just wanted to give you guys a first look, share what it's about, what the intention is of it, that kind of stuff. I hate energy systems too. Thank God you hate them. Yeah, typically I really fucking hate energy systems. But you'll see the way we designed it. There is very like again, it's something that even me got convinced on. I was like, oh, okay, that it actually does improve a lot of things for this game mode specifically, for Fortune's Frontier specifically. It also means that like the top players are not just the ones who are able to play 16 hours a day. That's really important for us as well. We don't want this to be something where it's like the only people that can compete in Fortune's Frontier. It's because they have infinite time as well. And so, yeah. Well, bye-bye grinding for hours. Someone responded, it's just on Fortune's Frontier, not normal RavenQuest. Yeah, I noticed, man, it's surprising how much I like share something and people completely missed it. I assume it's many times English second language, which is very understandable. If somebody was rambling in almost any other language, German's a good example because I understand some German, but if someone was rambling in German, I would just pick out a few words that or a few things that I recognized. So it's very understandable. And I also talk really fast, which doesn't help. Yeah. Quest takers 3 days head start in Fortune's Frontier. We will not be doing head starts for Fortune's Frontier. Will you be able to buy more energy? Yes, you will. It will have diminishing returns. However, you will be able to get more energy, but that goes directly into the prize pool. So it's essentially contributing towards the prize pool. And so it makes kind of like a risk reward element in terms of like you can, but with diminishing returns in the sense that we have it set where we want to make sure that the game mode isn't something where players can play 16 hours a day and you're dumb if you don't. But yeah. By the way, happy 1 year anniversary. It's insane that it's been a year and a day. It's so mind blowing that we released RavenQuest a year ago now, but then going through the patch notes and the major update notes, expansion notes, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I know there's a million things you guys want and that'll never change. We could be 50 years in the future. You guys will still have your list of, I want this now. I want this now. it is nuts what we've done in a year, on pure adrenaline and just insane passion for what we're building. Yeah, I'm very proud of how much we've done in just a year. And we've just improved so many of our workflows so much, so many of our processes so much. It's been awesome. Like 2026 is like the most excited we've been for a year, I think, as a studio ever. We just have such clear goals. We have such clear strategies, such better processes and experience. And yeah, we thank you guys all who've been here this whole time and from the betas and everything. Yeah, 2026, a huge focus for us is new player acquisition and growth. That really is a huge focus for us. When Little Nighter, forgive me. Oh God. I think my wife's watching. Need better gaming chair. Referring to someone about having a back hurting. The best thing I ever did, this was probably like 8 years ago now, was ditching a gaming chair. I used a gaming chair for a very long time. That shit destroys your back. They look cool. They're fun. You can usually customize them. They're comfy. They are very comfy. But getting an actual office chair was the best change I ever made. It was the worst experience the first week. I was like, this is so uncomfortable. And then I realized I never had back issues again. And I was like, how am I getting back issues? I've never had back issues. And I realized it's because I was like working 16 hours a day on a chair. That was not good. And the trick, by the way, if you want to get them cheap, wait until an office in your city is closing. They will sell shit at dirt cheap. They will sell like Herman Miller $1,600 chairs for like $200. Still expensive, but you're getting like a $1,600 insane chair for like $200, cheaper than a gaming chair. So, and even like there's like really good ergo chairs that are very affordable compared to like a gaming chair. So can't recommend that enough. My spine issues got way worse when I switched to a gaming chair. Yeah, they're a trap. They're a trap for sure, but they're so comfy. Yeah, if you can buy energy, defeats the purpose of the energy system. Because see, this is why I shouldn't share stuff until there's a dev blog on it, because it'll break down all of that. Don't worry, be faceless. It is the concern that you have is something that, of course, was a concern for us in the design. And when there's the full dev blog on it, your concerns will be squelched. Okay, I assure you, because we very much designed around that. Cambria uses energy orbs and works well. Yeah, and some of the designs that they use in their energy orb system inspired some of our designs as well. Because yeah, it's a very well done system, and anyone who's played it would also be like, would know like, oh, this isn't as concerning as yeah. Anyways, there'll be a dev blog on it. Just get carpentry to level 25 in real life and craft a chair yourself. Seriously, a wooden chair, hell yeah. Did someone host us? Our viewership went up a lot. Did we get like rated or hosted? What about Raven Idol? I talked about Raven Idol a little bit earlier in the stream. You can check out the VOD. How many channels per server? We will be using a dynamic scaling system with sharding, a whole new system that we're building. To be clear, guys, I shared about this lightly. I won't get into it too much. This will also come to RavenQuest. Something really important to us is we want the RavenQuest city, Ravencrest, we want the capital city to have every player that's in the capital city together, not separated on different servers or channels or anything like that. We want them all to be able to play together. So we've been building that tech out for Fortune's Frontier, and it'll also be for RavenQuest as well. I think that's smart, best for optics. Yeah, just best for community in general. Stop saying sharding. Okay, I'm going to say phasing. We're building out a phasing system. Our phasing system is coming. Can you do a more live streams like this? Would be awesome. Yeah, I like doing AMAs because it feels like cozier for some reason to me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try and start doing live streams more again because I enjoy doing them. It's easier to share stuff too, and they also get a lot more people in general. I think because like a lot of people follow us on Twitch, and also a lot of people like they want to be in like a Discord call with their friends while watching the stream or their guild or whatever, and then they can't. They have to actually be in the Discord channel. For whatever reason, like our live streams always usually get more engagement. And well, for those reasons, I assume, and it also makes for like an easy VOD of it and stuff. I'll probably start doing live streams more instead of AMAs, but AMAs do feel like cozier to me for some reason. Are you guys posting this VOD on YouTube? Yeah, we'll post a VOD of it on YouTube. Guillotine here. Me no comment. Take my acceptance. Keep it up. Make it fire. It's quite cozy in here. Yeah, it's pretty cozy in here as well. Maybe it's because I have the stream chat in not in dark mode. It's not cozy enough. It doesn't feel like Discord. What's your thoughts about Daniel? No comment. No, I'm just kidding. Hyper Fortune's Frontier, these seasons are fun. Yeah, we're very excited for it. Any chair recommendations? I currently use a stool. Yeah, there's ones that we looked into. So if you have like a big wallet, Herman Millers are insane. But if you want to get one for literally like instead of like $1,600 for like $200, wait until an office is shutting down, because many office spaces like legal offices and shit like that, accounting offices, they use like Herman Millers, and you'll get one for literally like a couple $100, cheaper than a gaming chair, and it'll last you legit forever. That's my what I recommend. However, there's a really good alternative that I've heard is really good. They're the ergo chairs. I think they're called ergo chairs. What are they called again? Yeah, ergonomic. They have like office chairs that are like $110 or whatever. They're not like a Herman Miller, but they're still very good. And again, gaming chairs, like they are expensive. They're not cheap. And this will be infinitely better. Just won't look as cool. But Herman Miller are very expensive. But again, if there's an office shutting down, that's like just keep an eye on like the classified. Same with if you want like a really nice desk or something like that. Like you can get like $1,000 desk for like $100 because they're just foreclosing. They're selling it dirt cheap. Big brain, yeah. That's what I recommend. Just wait until an office is foreclosing. Especially if you live in a bigger city, there'll be one like every couple days. If you live in a smaller city, give it a couple months and one will do it. Back pain is the world boss after 30s. True. Can you tell me a good keyboard for RavenQuest? I'm very specific about the keyboards and mice that I use, so it might not be the best. Yeah, Herman Miller and all these other brands, they paid me to share this, to tell you to buy a used one. Use checkout code NIGHTER when you buy it used. I've worked in major offices around America, and the best ones are almost always Herman Miller Aerons. That's literally what I am using for like 8 years now. I can't recommend them enough. But their task chairs are not great for lounging. Very true. They're not good for lounging. You're never like sitting in it to like relax. You're sitting in it to like operate. But like, to be clear, like when you're in a chair after 5 minutes, like it's not like you're like uncomfortable in the chairs. You're just not comfortable, if that makes sense. But you're also not going to have any back issues. Honestly, when it comes to mice especially, there is no best mouse. Pretty much any mouse now will have high enough DPI. and have all the things that you want. The biggest mice are like very subjective. It's totally based on your mouse grip. Like I have a claw grip, for example. And so there's certain mice that I love and ones that I hate. And also based on your hand size. If you have bigger hands, there's certain mice that feel better. I very much recommend go into like a store and just usually have like mice there and just hold them and see how it feels when you use them, to decide which one you like. Keyboards are more like there's some subjectivity, but ultimately not as much. But mice, there's a lot of subjectivity. Okay, that's a lot of side topic. I can't believe how many people are in here listening to me talk about mice right now. But let's get into our last big topic, which I know lots of people are waiting for. So I got a couple teasers for you guys. We've been working for quite a long time on group PvE, something that's been a huge focus for us. I've been kind of sharing that we built Fortress Frontier out for those people that love PvP, especially open world PvP. They wanted higher risk, they want a higher reward, blah, 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 blah. That's why we've been building out Fortress Frontier. In parallel, we've been designing a much deeper group PvE experience. We didn't want to just drop some bosses. We didn't want it to feel like Aether Echoes. We wanted it to be full party groups, or at least larger than 3-person groups. They won't necessarily, I can't say for sure what the group size will be. There's kind of benefits to different sizes, but raids will be much larger. World bosses will kind of be in between, but they will be much more of that kind of Aether Echo, like compared to Aether Echoes, these will feel much more like a traditional raid experience or boss fight experience that many of you guys know in MMOs. But we didn't want to just introduce, here's some new bosses, kill them, and that's it. We wanted to build a very deep system. And so it's taken more time, but it allows us to build upon that long-term much, much better. And so I won't get into everything here with you guys. There will be a dev blog on it when we're closer to releasing it because it's still in development. But we wanted to build out additional things around it. We wanted to build out kind of an optional kind of competitive side to it. So for example, getting like kind of a rating on how your group did on the boss fight, timed elements to the boss fight. So an actual leaderboard based on who clears the boss the quickest, different competitive elements related to that. But also we wanted to not just bring in bosses and be like, oh, okay, here, like you get a bunch of fame or something like that. We wanted to build in new interesting progression as well with it. And we've gone back and forth through so many different designs and have landed on something that we very much love that brings a huge new element brings a huge new element into the game as well with the bosses, that will allow for some new interesting end game progression and customization and stuff like that. And so with that, we've been building out, originally it was dubbed regional boss system, world boss system, whatever you want to say. The reason why we haven't really said world boss is people just assume it's open world. We do want these to be non-open world, but they are in the world, if that makes sense. So it won't be like spawn and then there's 100 players all just rushing it down and stuff. We don't feel like that brings into very interesting mechanics. We might bring something like that in the future, but we wanted to build something that's like very able to be competitive around and not just a new kind of PvP objective. And so with that, these will be in the open world, but they will have kind of their own dens or layers to challenge, and different difficulties, ability to kind of go up in difficulties, different from how Aether Echoes work though. It's yeah, I can't share too much. The dev blog will have so much more in depth on this because I want to let that speak for itself and it does a much better job conveying everything. But with that, we have been, the art team has been building out our first world bosses, and we will be dropping 5 when the system drops. There will be 5 different world bosses around the game world, 1 in each different region, and very much inspired by that region's lore. And these will be much deeper boss mechanic type experiences. So they won't be like Aether Echoes have a little bit of depth to them in terms of mechanics, but not much. This will be a much more like group oriented, figure out the mechanics, overcome the mechanics throughout the boss fight, different levels of challenging, but then also very unique rewards for doing these world bosses. And so I have a couple to share with you here. The first one that I'm going to be sharing is going to be in Rona Woods, the Master of the Hunt. Let me just make sure I turn on. Why is it not displaying it? Hold on. Hello? Oh, it's because it's not on loop. I hate how this does this. Okay, one sec. I need to make it loop. Loop. Okay. Here's the first one. This is Master of the Hunt. One of the first world bosses that will be coming to Rona Woods. Will there be a tracker with DPS done, damage taken, healing done? Yeah, so that's another part that adds a ton of complexity, but something that we really want to build in is like individual player performance and group performance. So being able to show like, listen, I'm cooking, okay? And so yeah, we want to add a lot more around this. And this builds out support as well for like guild wars to have that arena, all those kind of things as well. So it makes the system much more work to do, or like as a base, but allows for a lot of support into other areas of content as well. They look so good, as I said. Yeah, damn, he looks amazing. I will pass on to our team. They've been absolutely mad lad cooking on these. The next one I'm very hyped for. And one thing I also want to share, these bosses have very, very unique mechanics. That's been a big thing for us. My favorite one is actually the Alchemist, which will be in Zephyr Vale. I'm very excited about his boss mechanics. This is an area where we really want to like hard cook on these bosses, making them a very, very unique experience and very interesting things to overcome as a PvE player. Very challenging, very strategic as well. All right. And I have one more to share with you guys. The one for Hatterack Desert, which is the Sultan. One that I'm also very, very excited on. The Sultan will have 4 different elements, using those elements in different ways, changing kind of the way that you have to play against them. But this is one that I am very, very excited about as well. Looks sick. I hate this boss. He looks like he's going to be a problem. Yeah, he's going to be a problem. Mateus, it is not open world. There will not be 100 people fighting over it, so it won't matter how it spawns on the servers. Holy shit, your art team is cooking? They are. Dude, like I tell them all the time. Our art meeting is my favorite meeting to go into each day, because I just get to see the cool shit they're cooking. And they're mad cooking on the world bosses. And so I wanted to share a couple with you guys today. The first dev blog on it, we'll share all of them. This is an area that, again, us just introducing these bosses would be quite some work, like lots of mechanics to design, all that kind of stuff. But we want to build a much better system for the long term. We want to build progression to the bosses, progression for the players within the bosses, new interesting mechanics coming as well. We want this to kind of feel in many ways like when we dropped Expeditions. Like this brings a whole new element to the game, not just the content, but also what comes from the content. And so we've really been making sure that we take our time to cook this the right way and really consider how we want it to shape the game and the late game experience. These will be like more end game content focused. They will be for 75 plus. However, there will be different scaling progression throughout them that we're very excited about. And just the amount of things that will come around with that, and as well as like kind of performance, a competitive level around this. And kind of the last, something that we've been looking at a lot is we know we want to do another live event, like we did a live event last year. For anyone who's newer, we did a live arena tournament or Rift tournament in Sao Paulo last year, and it was incredible. It was so much fun, and we learned so much throughout it too that we would change next time. But it was our first like live event that we've hosted like that, and we know we want to do something quite big again around that. However, we wanted to have more than just PvP. We wanted to bring in a PvE competitive element as well, and very likely. Or this has kind of been the missing piece that we want to bring, because we've been consistently looking at like how would we do a PvE element to a tournament format, and yeah. Anixia White videos incoming. That's a big thing with us again with the mechanics. We want to make very interesting mechanics and ways that you have to solve it and play around it, and not like just like a puzzle or something like that, but like on the fly adjusting, to really bring in, like, for those people that are like, hey, I'm a PvE player, I love PvE, I want to be competitive at PvE, we're building a system for you. You know, everyone will be able to participate in them. They're meant to be, you know, group content in general, but definitely the ability to be like, you know, I'm top 0.1% on world bosses and stuff like that. Yeah. Mythic Plus when? The Mythic Plus system definitely inspired some designs around this as well. However, there's some things I hate about Mythic Plus, but there's definitely some inspirations from Mythic Plus from WoW that has inspired some of our designs here. So again, we don't have an ETA on when this is dropping, guys. I wanted to share it with you guys now though already, because we're full steam on this, and it's a it's a much bigger system than us just dropping a world boss fight. It really is kind of like a whole expansion around it. And so yeah, it's going to take some time to cook, but it's something that we are very keen to drop and very, very focused on releasing. So yeah. We need quest line for the bosses or some story too. There will be some story around them. However, these are not meant to be like new story quests. This is kind of a little bit of a different system. This is meant to feel more like Mythic Plus raids in WoW. Less about just like a new story quest with a boss fight at the end. We have lots of that in the game, and we'll continue to build more of those, especially when we release new zones. However, this is a little bit a different experience. Just to see if I'm understanding it correctly, there will be raids, which are a type of content more complex than simply go kill boss. There will also be regional bosses that players will need to form a group to defeat, and there will still be world bosses. So yeah, I feel like I should probably call these regional bosses. They're kind of like world bosses because they're meant to be like the biggest menacing threats. However, when I say world bosses, everyone assumes it's like open world bosses right away. So probably calling them regional bosses is better. But yes, we want to build all three elements of that, but we felt like these regional bosses make for the best full expansion, kind of like how we did Expeditions, the things that are around it, compared to just a single raid, for example. Any chase drops like Giga Rare Cosmetics, outfit, MOA, ship, wagon skins from world bosses, that's something that we very much wanted to bring with with regional bosses. So not all of those, but yes, to several of them. That is something that we very much wanted to bring, where there are very special chase elements that are also not only chase across the whole boss, but also based on the difficulty. So for example, perhaps a certain skin that is like very, very rare to get, and then at the higher difficulties it looks a little different, right? Yeah, that's something we like, again, with the world bosses, we want to bring a whole new progression and customization into the game like Expeditions brought, but then also some really unique chase drops as well, that people will then cry about not getting. And yeah. By the way, thanks everyone. One of our staff said, thanks everyone for sharing so many good feedbacks. The latest update was basically 90% community requests. Yeah, it was. It's a lot of community suggestions that we very much loved and we're cooking up. So, and we have many, many more that we're doing. That Kraken almost killed my dog. I want to kill him. Yeah, Kraken boss. Can we create a feedback thread while you build it so you don't build it without our input? Yeah, if you already have some ideas around world bosses or regional bosses, feel free to open up a feedback thread. Again, I need to be super clear, guys. Many times feedbacks are like completely against each other, right? There's many times that people will be like, oh, make sure to make these like X amount of players. And then like a bunch of other people will be like, make sure to make it not too many players because otherwise like we'll never find a group for it. Many times like feedback can be like the right feedback for you and your group and the worst feedback for the other 80% of players, right? We see this a lot. So understand that when you do a feedback thread, that doesn't mean that like your feedback is going to be done. And like you sharing it is like, that is what's happening. And understand that if we don't do your feedback, it's probably because of that. It's not because of we're ignoring it or whatever. It's probably because of that. And again, we'll try to give our perspective as much as possible because I think that's important and it helps you guys understand why. But at the same time, just understand that as well. But please, yeah, if you guys already have stuff you want to share. We shared very little so far. So it's probably a lot of things that we're already doing. So you're not going to get credit for it. But this content about world boss is really good. Agreed. We've been saying it for a while. A big focus for us was bringing in really compelling PvE group-based content. And again, we didn't want to just bring in something very simple like Aether Echoes, but changed a little bit or whatever. We wanted to bring in something really compelling that we feel like can stand on its own for a very long time and bring in really interesting long-term stuff. Because again, while there will be 5 to start, there will be many, many more. We already have concepts for, it was so hard to trim it down to 5 to start. But we didn't want to just bring in like 20 of them and they're all kind of like the same. We wanted each fight to feel like, oh shit, like this boss is like this. Not just, oh, here's another boss that we got to rush down, you know? We need to say the game address, how we're doing compared to initial expectations. Are we ahead of schedule? Yeah, that's a really good idea. I think that would be like its own stream or its own like huge announcement. But I'm definitely happy to do one of those. It's always just like a lot of work. There's so much like data to get together and all that kind of stuff. And even preparing for like streams like this, like there's a lot that we put into this, right? Building out a new landing page, building out like all the graphics and stuff for teasing, all the things we want to talk on, all the, you know, the development blog, all that. But I think things like that are awesome. I love doing these, right? I love sharing with you guys, but then also just chatting about the game with you guys. I've said this so many times before. I look so much forward to like live streams and AMAs. Like it feels like I'm like seeing like friends. Like I'm like very much like looking forward to when it starts. That's why they usually go so long. It's just a lot of time always, right? And I always have a million things I'm trying to tackle, especially on like the game design side. But I love doing them. If I had more time, I'd do them like every single week. Yeah, probably a night show. Get AI assistant and make it handle game RNG. Oh, I use AI for a lot of stuff, for just supporting my workflows. It's been a game changer. The amount of stuff that I used to have to do manually that I'm able to automate now, it's freed up so much more time. And so that's why I've been able to work on the game design side way more again. I would love them to add more content that allows you to progress in your effective level, like expeditions. That can be done more times per day. I'm a WoW player, and I love doing Mythic Plus, but in Raven, there's only grinding and more than one expedition a day. Yeah, call me. You nailed it. I think I echo that very hardly, or very hard. Rap God, yeah, sorry, I talk really fast. And speaking of which, I'm running out of steam. But I actually don't have any other topics. We have that legendary bounty roll to do. But with that, guys, we're going to do a kind of like last thing of questions here. If you have any, what the fuck? We're now over 1,000. Guys, this is sick. Welcome to everybody here. Sorry, I missed like a ton of questions. I know, guys. Trying to keep up. But I appreciate all of you guys being here. It's sick as hell. Yeah, very, very much appreciate everybody here and everyone that stayed like through the whole thing. There will be a VOD of this upload to our YouTube probably in like a couple days, maybe a couple extra because it is the weekend. But thank you so much to everyone who's been here. Yeah, if you're a Raven Dawn person, we have something coming too. They can't mind. I'll be Libosi, someone from our team said, I'll be dropping leaked images on creators chat. I know you guys want to share the boss's preview further. Hell yeah. Thanks, Libosi. Bro, is that milk you're drinking? It's strawberry lemonade water. Netter is hot? Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. You drama guys obsessed with milk. What the fuck? Stream when you sleep. Some actually watch that shit, to be honest. Listen, I'll throw up some Twitch drops and stream me sleeping. Turn on ad revenue. Extra revenue stream, right? Also, yeah, just on the drops again. If you haven't finished your drops, go watch a RavenQuest streamer right after this. Anyone that's a partnered streamer in the RavenQuest category will have the drops available. So just hop into one of their streams after this and enjoy. All right, guys. We're going to do this spin. I want to do it live on stream. This is only for 5 people. It's related to something in one of the announcements. If you missed, don't worry. These are the 5 people that are qualified. If you're here and you're like, oh, my name is not on there, you're not involved in it anyways. But I just wanted to do it on stream for transparency's sake. And so let me change the input here, window capture. Here's the advanced, just so you guys can see all equal weighting. I think even changing the weighting, it like changes the size anyways, but just for transparency's sake, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to spin the wheel until there's one name left. The last name is the winner. Okay. So it's the last name. That's the winner. We're going to build up some hype for this. Okay. So if the name is hit, they're removed. They're not the winner. Okay. It'll be the last person is the winner. Okay. So, cause I'm pretty sure I can remove people, each time. So we're going to go with the first spin. And again, the person that it lands on is out. They're not the winner. All right. The first person out is Glitch. Rip. I'm sorry. I'm going to have 4 people that hate me. The second one out, Zelda BR. I'm sorry. Rip. Don't at me. You said sorry like a Canadian. I am Canadian. The third person out is Taco. We are down to the final 2. Brad, Bit, and Updoge. Okay, if you guys are both in chat, I'm going to let you guys make a decision here, okay? Only if you're both in chat and you both agree to the same one. We're either going to spin it one time, and it's going to be whoever it lands on is out. So, actually, no, sorry. We're going to change this. Whoever it lands on now is the winner, okay? So whoever it lands on will be the winner between Brad, Bit, and Updoge. one more time. Whoever it lands on is the winner, okay? However, if you're both in chat, I'm going to give you guys the option. We can do a best out of 3. So whoever it lands on twice. Share in chat if you want to do best of 3 or best of 1. If you guys don't agree on best of 3, if you don't both say best of 3, then we're just going to do best of 1, okay? And by that, I mean Updoge and Brad Bitt. Only if they're both here. If one of them's not here, then Updoge said he's fine with best of 3. Let's see if Brad Bitt also agrees. If he's not here, though, I'm just going to message him. There we go. You here at the moment? Just so I don't miss it. Let me just see if he's here. If he's not here, we'll just do best of 1. We'll keep it normal. But if he's here, maybe we build up a little more hype for the audience. BO3 or BO1? Let's see. Let's see. He might have said in chat and I just missed it. Okay, he responded. He might not be in stream, though. He might not have heard it. All right, guys, we're building up a little tension here. We're building up a little tension, okay? He's responding. He's typing. He says, yes, I was on stream. Okay, does he want a best of 3 or best of 1? He's really making a big decision. It's you and one other guy left on wheel. You can choose BO3 or BO1 on spinning between you two. Okay, I think he's hopping in. He was on stream, but he wasn't here now, so. Hold on, pause. Also, I'm so sorry for whoever doesn't win, okay? I know when there's 2 people left, I believe the odds are 50-50, but one of you 2 is going to be sad. One of you 2 is going to be very happy, but congrats for getting best of 3 or final 2. It's for a exclusive cosmetic, so they get a custom design cosmetic. Play Niter is typing as a celebration music. All right, I will. Okay, he wants to do a best of 1. So everything is on the line here, okay? We're doing a best of 1. He said, just let me win. So he said, best of 1, just let me win. So we're doing a best of 1 here. Godspeed. Ulse Volderez, your name's hard to say. Why only 5 people? It was for like a special contest thing related to the Monk Carnival. There's an announcement on it. The 5 people are the 5 people that qualified for it, based on getting a new legendary and then one of the old ones. It's a bounty that we made and no one obtained it. And originally we were gonna be like, okay, rip, let's just, no one obtained it. But then we were like, okay, we can like look up who had them and then validate it and then roll it off to one of them. Because we want someone to get it. We design bounties as like an extra little bonus. We don't design them in a way that we're like, we don't want anyone to get it. Even though it means more work for us, it would have been less work to just be like, okay, no one got it. But we want this to go back to you guys. So, okay, best of 1, guys. Whoever it lands on is the winner now. Okay, Godspeed. Oh my God! I oh man, that is not how I was hoping the spin to go. Because that is a broken heart for oh my god. Congratulations to Updoge. That is a heartbreaker. That I wish it was just like very unanimous on one side, because that just breaks hearts. But congratulations to Updoge, and sorry to the other four that didn't win. But holy shit, was that? I literally was about to say like congratulations to Brad, because I thought it was gonna stop. That is about as close as it can be. So anyways, congratulations Updoge. But you will be getting that custom cosmetic. All I wanted to say is thank you guys so much for being here, for being such amazing parts of the community. We've changed our development process where we want to bring like larger content updates, a little bit less frequently, but much larger content updates. Instead of kind of just slow trickling out every week or two new things, we want to bring like major updates, and that's really going to be with our spring update. And Fortune's Frontier. So, we've been cooking a lot in the shadows over the last few months, and we're very excited to share all of that with you guys. Keep your eyes out. We will have a beta for Fortune's Frontier that will be dropping in the near future here, and then preparing for the full release of it. But yeah, ultimately, guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Just to say it again, it really does mean a lot to us, and everyone that supports us, whether sharing about the game or directly supports us monetarily, really, it means the world to us. It allows us to keep building this amazing game. And in a time when a lot of the game industry is in a really tough spot, we're sustainable and we're able to keep building out cool shit for you guys. And that really does come from those of you that do support us. So I really can't say enough how much I appreciate that, and allowing us just to keep cooking, making the game bigger and better, more content and stronger late game loops, and all the things that we know we want to have in the game. So with that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Again, if you didn't finish your Twitch drop, go hop into any RavenQuest streamer. There's some amazing streamers live right now, and yeah, go check them out. And talk about all the stuff shared here today. Hop into our Discord, whatever. Also, make sure on the landing page, or go to our landing page for Fortune's Frontier, and make sure to toss your email in there. You're going to get a free pet in RavenQuest, and also something free in Fortune's Frontier as well. With that, I think we're just going to end stream. The YouTube video, if you guys want to watch it again, I was going to play it, but honestly, you guys can just watch it again on our YouTube channel. Again, I'm going to do a little giveaway there for people that like and comment on the video. So go like, comment, and I'm going to pick a few people there for a little giveaway. So thank you guys so much. Go check out some other awesome streamers and talk about all the stuff shared today. Thank you guys. Enjoy your weekend and happy adventuring, okay?